Are you ready to scale your portfolio tenfold, but worried you might be missing some steps? Then of course you're all stressed out and about missing steps, and it's gonna make you miss even more steps.
We're gonna show you how we gained 967 doors in 2021 alone, and how our students are learning to do those same exact strategies in the Remote Multifamily Investing Academy.
By the end of this video, you'll be confident and ready to 10x your portfolio without 10xing your stress. So you wanna 10x your portfolio. Cool, well, where are you starting? 0 doors? Well, then you already 10x'd it, but that's not very compelling, right? So how about we just start with one, just one door? How are we gonna 10x your first property?
So how do you go from the first one to 10?
So it really depends on your personality, right? You could go from 1 to 10 with a single building. You could just go buy a 10 unit, but maybe that's just a little too intense for you, and that's fine. If that's the case, start with a 2 or 3 unit. Those are easy to find, easy to finance, and have a lower down payment to get started.
Plus, it's a great way for you to just get started and get that spendable monthly cash flow coming in. And once you get that first one done, it's like this gateway just opens up. Everybody knows you're serious. They know that you're a performer. They know that you're gonna close on it going forward. And now all of a sudden, deals are coming into your inbox that are off market, and you're also getting approved by lenders because they know you're gonna close on it. So once you have that first one done, it opens the gateway, then your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth. Imagine getting rents from 4 or 5 different buildings. But you can't get there until you start with the first one. Then everything's gonna flow from there.
So we have a lot of different examples of that. We haven't been new in a long time. It's been, what, almost 20 years since we were new? But because we work with first-time investors all the time, we get the opportunity to see this over and over. Like we have so many examples. Who should we talk about?
God, I'm going through my Rolodex.
Okay.
So let's talk about Maureen and Andy.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay. So first of all, can we just start with the fact that when they first started, they're a little bit into their years, if you follow. They're getting close to retirement, and they had fear. They had a lot of fear that they weren't going to have enough time to get enough doors in order for them to retire properly. And we had to explain to them, this is how you get started. You get that first one in. So they started with a duplex, didn't they?
Yep. First of all, we absolutely love them. Their very first property was a triplex, and they partnered with 2 other members of the Academy. One lives in Israel, the other lives in Jersey, and they live in California. So all of them did this remotely because the property was where it's like Ohio. Mm-hmm. It was in Ohio in a triplex, and that was the first deal they closed, and it literally opened up all the doors. That first deal, it seems like the hardest because you're learning everything and you're making all these initial contacts. But once they got that one, all of a sudden people were like, oh, okay, so you're not just a talker. Then they ended up getting a duplex that they partnered up with another member of the Academy, and that was in Indianapolis. And then they got into another triplex. And then they just closed on a 32 unit.
I was gonna say, and then they just segued straight into apartments and continued to scale. It's 18 months.
Yeah, 18 months. So they just closed on a,
31 unit.
They closed on a 31 unit, and they have under contract a 20 unit in Ohio and a 14 unit in Florida that they're working on financing and getting closed. Like, it's incredible. But if they hadn't started with that very first triplex or duplex, the rest of it just wouldn't have happened because they didn't have the confidence in themselves to know that they could do it. They didn't have the lender contacts, the realtor contacts, the insurance, like all the things that you need, but they were able to get their foot in the door and broke everything open just by getting that first one, then the second, then the third, and then boom, they're into apartments.
Absolutely. Yeah, their tagline could literally be from triplex to a 31 unit in 18 months, right? But they did a lot of other properties along the way. But the key is they got into that first one, and then from there took off. And you can do that too. Hey, if you're liking this video so far, click the like button below, show us some love. The algorithm helps us get more videos in front of you.
Consider it a measure of good luck to growing your portfolio.
Okay, cool. So what if you decided to just go for that 10 unit on the first deal? And more importantly, how would you 10x that 10 unit without 10xing the stress?
Welcome to the world of joint ventures. So the idea is you want to double your door count with every deal that you do. The goal is to double the size of the building you're buying each time when you're getting started. So for example, let's say your first deal, it's a 10 unit. All right, so you get the 10 unit, you close it, you're getting it operated, and now 3 months later, you're on to your next one. And let's say it's a 20 unit. And then you close it, you got it operational, then you go to the next one 3 months later, and now it's a 40 unit. And then the next one is an 80 unit. So you can see how quickly things change when you start scaling, doubling your property size every time. So you're essentially talking about taking 1 year and going from a 10 unit to having 150 units just by doubling the size of the building every time.
But let's just say you're not even that ambitious. Maybe you're a little bit more risk averse and you just want to double your door count 10 at a time. Well, that first one is a 10 unit, then the next one would be 20, then the next one would be 30, then the next one would be 40, and you're gonna get to the point where you're finally at 100 doors. Just by every time you get a new property, you go up by 10 doors. And even if you just space them out, buying them one at a time, one per quarter, you could get to 100 doors within a 12-month time frame. Might not be 150, but 100 is better than 0. People underestimate what's possible when they stop worrying about the 100-unit building that everybody wants to jump into first. When you stop worrying about getting into 100 units right away and you just focus on the process and take that first step, one step after the other, it starts to lead and build to that 100 units, and that's okay.
This is a life-altering game changer. And it's not overnight, but it also doesn't have to take years. You just have to focus all of your time and attention on that very first deal. Learn everything you need to close on that first deal. And then you get to take all of that wisdom, all of that knowledge, and that newfound courage and credibility into the next and the next and the next. And that is how you build a portfolio and how you 10x it without 10xing your stress.
If you guys enjoyed this video, watch the next video over there, how to become a millionaire in multifamily real estate. And then we'll see you next week.